Hey y'all, Dekumon here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Last time, we took on the Healer role quest, which brought us back to Alamigo, and in contact with some very familiar faces. Raubon, Fordola, yeah, I didn't expect that one. Also didn't expect Arenvald. Really interesting questline. Doesn't beat Ishgard, unfortunately, but still pretty good. And now, only one role quest set remains. I am so glad to almost be done with these. It's time to do the range DPS, and looks like we're headed to Doma. Seeds of Disquiet. Ooh, I see Hien.
Do mine eyes deceive me? Master Dekumon! Oh, thank the Kami. Lord Hien has requested assistance in the restitution of a most urgent matter. The hunt for a fell beast believed to be a blasphemy. Though we have made great strides in ensuring the safety of our people, we fear even our finest shinobi will be no match for this enemy, for it commands the skies of Doma. But as your talent for striking down foes at a distance is beyond compare, I can think of no one better to aid us in overcoming this adversary.
It would be my pleasure. Well, if no other marksman's up to the task. Perfectly fine with this. Any chance to get the old gunslinger out seems fine to me.
Oh, God may be praised. I shall inform Lady Yugiri that she may receive you at the Doman Enclave. Safe travels, Master Dekumon.
Oh, Yugiri's involved in this too. Sweet. And there she is, Lady Yugiri herself.
It is good to see you, Dekumon. When we received word that you of all people had answered our call, I could scarcely believe it. Yet here you are.
I mean, who else was gonna do it?
Lord Hien will be pleased for this reunion, if you would wait here a moment.
All right. And of course Hien, whose voice I haven't done in a while. Well, that the Kami should guide your steps to Ardoa once more, and with such fortuitous timing. Such as it is. Pray forgive me for not affording you a hero's welcome, but time is not on our side. Not long after receiving word of men transforming into hideous beasts in Thavner, a similar creature was born of a woman in Asari. After attacking another villager, it took to the skies and fled, though to where we know not. But at least you have an idea of who it was at this point. An all too cruel twist of fate, for the one slain was among the prisoners returned to us in that deplorable exchange with Ahashi and the Empire, just when they had last begun to piece their life back together. Wonder if that had something to do with it. This blasphemy must be stopped. Alas, our foe was wont to keep to the skies, well beyond the reach of our samurai and shinobi. Thus did we seek the aid of those proficient in ranged combat, able to pluck the beast from the heavens. Well, I could definitely lay him out. Of course, martial prowess alone will not solve our problems. Others have turned into weaker but no less gruesome abominations, as was the case in Thavner, and their numbers increase by the day. From what I understand, this phenomenon is not unlike a sickness which spreads by feeding on fear and anxiety, emotions which, of late, can be found in abundance. Slaying the beast means nothing if the people's hearts cannot be put at ease. Very true. Lord Hien! What is it, man? Out with it!
You have to help! The villagers! They... Sir, please, calm yourself and tell us what has happened. Another has been turned in Namai, my lord. For a blessing, no one was harmed when the beast flew into a rage, but the people are in a panic. I fear what may happen next.
That sounds like our cue to go clean house.
It would seem we have even less time than I thought. Worry not, we will see to the beast. As of yet, there is no cure for this affliction, but we will save what lives we can, I promise you.
Yeah, sad to say there is no cure.
I trust you are ready to join the fray?
Always.
It was last seen near the glittering basin. Come, I will show you.
Let's go. And once again, racking up the nods like nobody's business. Wow, they literally just dragged me here myself. Didn't have to come at all. A little right here.
Oh, the beast was right here, I swear it! I thank you for leading us here, but it is not safe. Please, return to your village.
Yeah, and try not to get eaten or turned along the way, please. Less people I have to clean up, the better.
We should split up to see if we have any chance of finding it. Dekumon, would you see to the west? I will search in the north. Yugiri, I leave the east to you. If you find it, remember, these blasphemies are no longer people. They will not hesitate to strike you down, so you mustn't either. Now, let us
us not waste any more time. Alright, and off I go. Oh, hello. This thing's menacing a kid. We can't have that. Hey, get over here. You know what? Let's try out the new skill. Here, have some chainsaws. Woo-hoo-hoo! That does damage. That does a lot of damage. I mean, these are all 600 potency hits, and I just blew 2 reassembles to make sure they were good hits. You alright, kid? I don't see him popping yet. Seems alright. No black smoke yet. Are you alright? We heard shouting and came as fast as we could.
It would appear Dekumon arrived, not a moment too soon. Why? Why'd you kill my brother?
Sorry. Didn't give me much of a choice, I'm afraid.
Your brother? Young man, that creature was not your kin. Not anymore. Had he not laid it to rest, it would have killed you and countless others. But if your heart cries out for one to blame, let it be me. The beast was slain at my behest, for it was the only way.
I'm gonna lay a bet right now that the original blasphemy is this kid's mother.
No, you're wrong. You killed him, murdered him. I hate you.
Ay. Well, we're off to a sterling start here with the locals. Hey! Oh, there's a familiar face I haven't seen in a while. Ishin, right? If I remember correctly? Issei.
Issei, what are you doing here? Searching for Tonbo, though clearly you found him first. The monster was his older brother, as you may have guessed, and Tonbo gave chase the moment it ran off. I beg you forgive him for his outburst. His brother was all he had left. Their father was conscripted by the Empire and was, regrettably, not among those returned to us in the recent exchange of prisoners. The hope that they might one day be reunited was their only comfort when the Viceroy still ruled. I can only imagine how they felt when she walked into Asadi, a shadow of their former self.
Yeah.
Tsuyu may have had no memories of the monster she was, but her victims still see her in their dreams. Nevertheless, like many, the brothers prayed your mercy would see their family restored. But then they learned of her death, and of their father's absence. Deprived of hope and of all hate at once, they had nothing. My apologies for rambling.
No big deal, man. Gotta get it off your chest somehow.
No, it was rather an enlightening tale. I spared the woman who brought him pain, and took the brother who brought him comfort. I would hate me too. I swear I will set things right for Tombo, for all the people of Doma. Please return home, Issei, and be safe.
Ian's such a good guy. We really need some better weather for this.
Let us return to the Doman Enclave. This ordeal has given me much to consider.
Guessing that's the end of the quest then.
I owe you a great debt for your timely assistance. And an apology, for I made you an executioner in young Tonbo's eyes. Would that I had been the one that witnessed cut down the beast his brother had become. But we needn't have time to dwell on regrets and what should have been. No, we need to take action, and after hearing of Tonbo and his brother, I believe I know what must be done. A great many of our brothers and sisters were returned to us in the prisoner exchange, but even so, there are those who yet remain lost to us. Meanwhile, Yotsuyu, who was directly responsible for much of our people's suffering, was never held to account for her crimes. In death, she claimed vengeance for her suffering at the hands of her brother, but it came at the expense of justice for her countless victims. The people of Doma have every right to resent me for failing them in their grief. But what of those who cannot bring themselves to even do that? Who are left alone with their anger and their pain?
And I'm getting clipped into by an umbrella. I know it's raining, but seriously.
It may well give way to despair, and then...
They would share the same fate as Tonbo's brother, yes. Which is why we must needs consider who else might share in his anguish, ere we find ourselves beset by more beasts. I will begin making rounds of the villages to inquire after those whom their neighbors believe are more distressed of late. Very good. I and the other shinobi shall continue our search for the blasphemy which set these events in motion. And you, my friend, we will have need of your talents again ere long. Rest assured we will keep you apprised of our findings. Don't worry, I'll be right here, because I suspect it won't take long, and this one character is clipping into all my NPCs. When the kami answer.
Ah, Dekumon. We have yet to ascertain the whereabouts of the blasphemy from Isari, but, for a blessing, we have received no reports of others that have turned. Lord Hien, for his part, has made a concerted effort to go about the villages and converse with his subjects directly. I suspect his constant presence has served to allay the people's fears. As one might expect, he has ever been dedicated and diligent, but I fear he has been away over long. I thought I might go and visit what should have been his last destination, Isari. Might I ask you to accompany me?
Sure, why not?
Thank you. I am sure that there is no cause for concern, but nevertheless, I should be glad to find him quickly.
I'm sure there's something going on. Ah, well, he's just here. I was expecting there to be an actual problem.
Dekumon, Yugiri, my apologies if I gave you cause for concern. Assessing the state of affairs here in Isari has proven difficult. To put it simply, the people, one and all, refuse to speak with me. They simply bow their heads and turn away at my approach. Knowing the blasphemy originated here, I cannot help but wonder if that has all to do with their silence. Perhaps you could attempt to engage the people in my stead? Surely they have no cause to deny the two of you. I should hope not. Nevertheless, I will don a disguise, lest I draw undue attention. Come, Dekumon, let us see what we can discover. Thank you, both of you.
A disguise? Well, I'm pretty sure I won't need one because, you know, I keep changing clothes every 5 minutes, but hey, that's the way this goes. All right, I'm looking for people who are actually willing to talk to me. Like this burly villager here. I have a great debt to Lord Hien. If not for him, I would still be fighting under the Imperial standard. But the village suffered dearly under the occupation. What's more, our lord failed to punish the Viceroy for her crimes, and failed to reunite many with their loved ones. I understand why some would think poorly of him, even if I do not. That there is a pretty bad attitude.
A blasphemy? You're mistaken, my friend. Our village was visited not by a monster, but a kami, Izanami. Where Lord Hien is cold and callous, she offers us boundless compassion and love.
Oh, crud. Oh, do not worship the blasphemy, please. That just causes no end of headaches.
Aye, that's right. The blasphemy was born of a young woman here in Isari. Tragic, really. Every day she prayed for the safe return of her husband, but it was not to be. If I'm to be honest, I fear the loss drove her poor stepmother mad. Kisei has ever been a devout believer in the kami and their blessings, but she's somehow convinced herself that Minato has become one. The delusions of a grieving parent, obviously, but an alarming number of people have come to share in her belief. Heresy is what it is.
That might explain the interesting attitudes that Hien was having. Seriously, you don't worship the blasphemy and... Yugiri, seriously? That's the outfit you chose? It's not much of a disguise. Well, regardless, at least we got some information.
I see. Little wonder they refuse to confide in me. The belief held by some that this blasphemy is a kami, however, is quite concerning. Izanami presides over life and death. She gives birth to the nation of Doma and ushers souls of the departed onto the land of the dead. I trust you understand what it would mean to deny them a source of hope in such dark times, even one such as this. The villagers also claim that Kisei can speak with the dead. In fact, she will be holding a gathering to demonstrate her powers ere long. The perfect opportunity to gauge the extent of their fanaticism. Not for me, of course. My presence would draw undue attention. Might I ask you both to attend in my stead?
Yeah?
Her followers will be gathering in the tavern. Come.
Tavern. Alright. Sounds like we got the same problem we had with the Sahagan. Just not to the extreme we had with the Sahagin, I hope. Ooh, the music does not bode well.
Oh, spirits of Isari, I beseech you, lend me your voice and let your presence be known. Cross the veil and be among us once more.
Whoa. I mean, the camera angle was very dramatic.
I could see you.
I'm pretty sure I just mangled this poor fool's name.
Father, why do you sound like an old woman?
Still tending the nets, like I taught you.
Yes, Father. Every day. Thanks to you, we never want for fish. Our bellies are never empty. I am proud to be your son. I was always too embarrassed to tell you before, but...
And I am proud to have been your father. May you ever be blessed by the sea's bounty. It hurts.
Father, what's wrong? Oh.
He is in terrible pain, my child. Those who have cheated death's design yet live. It has disrupted the natural order, and the spirits suffer for it.
Oh, what must we do to ease their pain?
Fear not. Izanami shall put all to rights. She will claim the souls not long for this world and deliver them unto the hereafter. When her work is finished, your father's spirit and all the others will find peace.
Ooh, shit. Alright, this old lady needs to go away.
Can you find my father? Can you help me speak with him? Kise, can you commune with my husband?
What about my family? Help me, Kise, please!
Oh my god. Oh. She's John Edwards! Oh, we have a charlatan in our midst. Well, at least they didn't charge us 20 bucks for that little show. Sheesh.
So, is Kise's ability all that she claims?
I imagine she is full of sheet.
A young man spoke with his dearly departed father through her. I find that rather hard to believe. Even so, those in attendance appeared quite convinced, my lord. And I suspect a great many of the villagers I've spoken with recently are as well. Everywhere I went, the people are in so much pain, and there was nothing I could do or say to give them solace. Yet for all their anguish, there has not been a single report of villagers turning since the incident with Tonbul's brother. Which can only mean word of Kise and her ability to speak with the deceased has spread. The belief we can commune with our loved ones in death is a comfort far beyond my power to provide. Though I fail to see how the people would abide the kami claiming innocent lives to restore order.
Yeah. Unpleasant thought that might be.
She comes! Is it on me? The blasphemy. Here!
Uh-huh. Well, we could end this questline real early if we take her out. But I can't get that lucky now, can I? Alright, well, at least we'll get a good look at this thing. What horrible form is this one gonna take? Oh, we're not gonna get to see it.
Lord Ian, the Kami! She appeared as if from nowhere, and then the next instant this poor man was...
He dead. Yep. Scared to death, most likely.
So, we were too late.
At least he didn't turn. I spoke with him before in Asari. Wasn't he one of the villagers returned in the prisoner exchange? Yeah. I talked to him earlier.
You recognize him then?
Sorry, need water. Need more water, actually.
Curious that he and the Blasphemies' first victims were former conscripts. What could the fiend be after, I wonder?
It does not become my lord to speak ill of the Kami.
Pretty sure old lady pain in my ass? Yep. Thought as much.
Ooh. He ain't not happy.
I understand you are come to investigate the rumors of a monster born in our village. A blasphemy, you called it, but you are sorely mistaken. My stepdaughter Minato was chosen to serve as a vessel for Izanami. I witnessed her ascension with my own eyes.
Oh, you did you? That seems like, yep, I kind of figured. That was my cue for an echo. Oh no, she was about to jump, wasn't she?
Minato, please. I can't. I won't. There's no logic in it. No justice. The Witch of Doma spared, given a second chance, and my husband condemned to die as a conscript. I'll never know what became of him. Lord Ian can't give me even that. And when I look at the families he made whole, all their happiness, I feel the hole in my heart, the gaping wound that will never heal, begin to bleed.
Oh, there's the black smoke.
Only at my beloved's side will I find peace. You mustn't lose faith, Minato. All will be well. Trust in the Kami, in Izanami.
Crap. She is about to jump.
I want to believe, but I'm turning into a monster.
Oh, no, didn't even get to jump. Oh, one of the four-armed tentacle monsters. Oh, and it's all those negative feelings about the other conscript families. That's why she's going after them. Crud.
Izanami has come to bring peace to the souls of the departed, to restore balance between their world and ours. Surely you would not dare defy the will of the Kami.
This balance you speak of has claimed the lives of two innocents but recently returned to us. I cannot, I will not, accept that the Kami would condone such cruelty.
No crueler than the sight of Yotsuyu free and forgiven, while my husband and son fought Garlemald's wars, now dead and forgotten in a foreign land. With all due respect, Lord Hien, is it not your duty to protect Doma and her people? How are we to place our faith in the man who places the enemy's safety and well-being above that of his own subjects?
Crud.
Only the Kami are deserving of our adoration, as they have always been.
There's one of you in every big crowd, isn't there? I'm reminded of the pain in the ass from the Mist movie. If you've ever seen that, you know exactly who I'm talking about. And how badly you want to deck them. Ayata.
The villagers are no doubt loath to ask of it of me, but preparations must be made for burials and funeral rites. I can offer that much at least. You seemed distracted during our conversation with Kisei. Is something the matter?
Alright, yeah, you didn't see me echo out. That was, interesting.
The echo. and the blasphemy was indeed born of her stepdaughter. To bear witness to such horror, how her mind must have struggled to comprehend what she saw. And as a woman of faith, perhaps her only surviving family becoming one with the divine was the only reality with which she could come to terms. I believe I know now what must be done. I but pray her fervor does not drive her to oppose us. Come, let us return to the Enclave. Oh, I'm sure it will, considering how many of these quests we still have to do. A lot of people working on this quest line, I'm guessing, or of some other quest line where these characters are showing up here. From what you have told me of your vision, the nature of Minato's despair, as well as the focus of her ire, is clear. 'Tis plain she was a good-natured and kind-hearted woman, grieving for the loss of her husband. This loss alone may not have been enough to turn her, but my failure to hold Yotsuyu to account, together with the sight of the other families reunited, compounded the turmoil in her broken heart. A path to despair paved by my good intentions, a truth that will weigh heavy on my conscience into my dying day. Minato was prepared to die in sadness rather than live in hatred. If she could see the beast she has become, she would implore us to stop her. Which is why we must find the others who will return to us in the prisoner exchange before they come to harm. Once their safety is assured, we may hunt down the blasphemy and bring a close to this tragedy. So that's the plan. I kind of figured they were the ones on the biggest threat. Alright, Yugiri, what's next? Home no longer.
Ah, Dekumon, if you are come to ask about the blasphemy, I have naught to share. As of yet, our shinobi have seen no sign of the beast. The returnees, however, are all accounted for, and Lord Hien has seen them safely to Kienkan. As such, he is presently assisting with the hunt. For a blessing, there have been no reports of other villagers turning, and yet, before the situation takes a turn for the worse, there is another matter I feel warrants further investigation. Kisei. Though a villager of Isari, I suspect she may in fact hail from my home, Suino Sato. Knowing they would be loath to answer my inquiries, I entreated the Kojin to contact Suino Sato in my stead. To hear tell of it, Princess Kurenai has made great strides in establishing stronger ties with the outside world. At mention of Kisei, however, their cordial warmth turned strangely cold. If we are to learn more, I fear we have little choice but to go and speak with the people of Suino Sato ourselves. A simple visit for you, I imagine, but my banishment complicates matters. That said, it has been many years since I left home. Were I to disguise myself, I might well go unnoticed in your company, if you are willing to take the risk.
Yeah, I have no problem. What are they gonna do, try and fight me?
Thank you. Let us make for Onokoro then.
Kind of expected to meet her somewhere else, but a dock works, I suppose. I guess it's as close as we can get to the city for a cutscene.
The garments I wore when we first met, sufficient, I think, to conceal my identity. How many years has it been since last I saw home?
Too many, I'm guessing.
I am a shinobi of Doma, aye, but even as a child I sought to ensure the safety and survival of Suino Sato. I was quite bold in those days, if not a touch reckless, and together with the other children I often ventured beyond the borders of home. We yearned for adventure, and so one day we sought to behold the wonders of Doma. Imagine our horror to discover a city of ruin and ash, Imperial soldiers marching through the streets. We fled at the sight, but in my haste I lost my way in the bamboo groves. It was there I first met a young boy named Shun, a sweaty mess as he swung his wooden sword with reckless abandon. Training to fulfill his duty as a samurai, he said. Having seen the destruction of which the Empire was capable, I too felt the need to protect my home. I joined him in his exercises, and every day my resolve to protect those I love grew.
Even if they hated you for it in the end.
Sadly, my elders refused to listen. They were content to remain hidden beneath the waves, and hopefully the Empire's notice. With a heavy heart, I left in search of the strength I believed we sorely needed, and I found it as a shinobi. But the people feared war and conflict would follow on my heels should I return. I do not begrudge them their decision, nor do I regret mine own. Part of me is overjoyed at the thought of seeing home again. Openly defying the wishes of the Ruby Princess, however, would bode ill for my family. They have suffered enough from my transgressions. That is why, for their sake, I would remain naught but a faceless shinobi at your employ.
Alright.
Thank you. With that in mind, let us make for Suino Sato.
Well, thankfully Doggy can swim like all my other mounts. Or I could literally be teleported here, because that works too. Sheesh.
All these years, yet naught appears to have changed since the day I left. But now is not the time to reminisce. We have work to do. Kisei's departure from Suino Sato was likely decades ago. Perhaps the village elders will know why she chose to leave.
Yugiri is now accompanying you. I do not see any talking spots, so we're just looking for the elders. Amenable elder, well, that seems like a good start. Kisei, the name sounds familiar, and yet... Apologies, friend. My memory is not what it once was.
Let us seek out another.
Another, she says. Where would I find another? Not you. Here's one. They're even cheerful.
Oh my, it has been quite some time since last I heard that name. She was a priestess of the village, banished after drawing the eye of the former Ruby Princess. What has become of her after all these years, I wonder? Please, is there anything else you could tell us? Unagi was quite close with her, if memory serves. Perhaps you should seek her out.
Unagi. Not a name I'm uber familiar with.
Mother, I had hoped to avoid my parents, but if there is no other way... Dekumon, might I ask you to take the lead?
Yeah, that's understandable that she really can't see her family, which sucks. And yeah, here they are, Yugiri's parents. Haven't seen these two in quite some time.
'Tis good to see you again. To what do we owe the honor of your visit?
Let's see if they even recognize Yugiri. It's quite possible they do.
Kisei. Yes, we were close, but that was a long, long time ago.
And clearly not on the best of terms.
Still, if I can be of assistance to the man to whom we owe so much, I will share all I know. Kisei was born to a family of priests, and even at an early age she was possessed of extraordinary abilities. Much was expected of her, but everything changed the day she said she could speak with the dead. No one believed her at first, but she continued to insist she could, and strove to prove it by demonstrating knowledge well beyond her years. Knowledge of events to which she could not have been privy. Word of her talent eventually reached the Ruby Princess, and she was summoned to Shuisui of the Violet Tides for a private audience.
Hey, I've been there.
No one knows what Kisei said to her in the palace, only that the princess was incandescent with rage and ordered her exile forthwith. Some believe Kisei revealed a terrible secret of a royal house, or perhaps spoke a blatant falsehood that proved her a liar. Indeed, the knowledge she claimed to divine from the dead was not always truthful, but who is to say the dead would know the truth or not seek to deceive? Thus, we could never be certain if it was simply a fantasy or a power divine.
She was faking. Or still is, even.
The one thing that is certain is that no small number of people found comfort in her words. Would that I could tell you more, but sadly I have not seen nor spoken with Kisei since her banishment.
Sounds familiar. Oh. Uh-oh.
Forgive me, but have we met your companion before? She looks familiar.
Oh, crud. I knew this was coming. I believe this is the first time our humble shinobi has visited Suino Sato. I imagine she does, considering she's... Yeah, let's not blow her cover. This was her choice to hide.
Ah, is that so? For the briefest of moments you reminded me of someone quite dear to my heart. Being a shinobi, I presume you have heard tales of Yugiri Mistwalker. Should you chance to meet her, may I ask you to deliver her a message? Tell her that her mother and father love her, that we could not be more proud of her.
Aww. Aww, you're gonna make me tear up here.
I will. have no doubt she feels the same, and not a day goes by without you in her thoughts.
Oh. That was sweet.
Ahem. I believe we have heard enough. Shall we return to Onokoro?
Yeah, I suppose. Before I start tearing up here in front of everybody. And family. Gotta love them. I'm gonna be honest. They're really pulling those fade outs and stretching them a lot longer than I originally have seen. I'm having to cut them, they're so long.
My apologies for placing you in so peculiar a situation. Though I must confess, it did my heart good to see mother and father well. All the more reason I must do all I can to keep the peace. As a shinobi of Doma, no, as a member of the Eastern Alliance.
Gotta remember, we're in it for the big haul.
Mayhap there will come a day when Suino Sato opens to the world. A day when Yugiri Mistwalker can be reunited with her mother and father. Would that Lord Hien could be afforded the same opportunity. But Lord Kaien and Lady Mina have long since passed. Two of too many lives lost in the Imperial occupation. I cannot imagine he would ever succumb to despair, but make no mistake, Lord Hien knows the pain of his people all too well. I can see it in his eyes, and if I may be honest, it troubles me at times. But perhaps I have said too much. Come, we mustn't keep him waiting.
Yeah. That's a terrifying thought. You or him popping. We can't have that. And see what I mean? Look how long this pull-out shot is.
Welcome back. I trust your journey proved an enlightening one.
More or less. Apparently she's been pulling this sham gag for quite a while.
So she does in fact hail from Suino Sato, and you say she has possessed these divine gifts since childhood. Genuine or no, the people believe her, and more flock to her side with every passing day. But the returnees are safe at the Kiankan, its defense is bolstered. As for the blasphemy, I have spoken with our Confederate allies among others, and together we will establish a network of contacts across the length and breadth of Doma to take up the search in earnest. Mark my words, we will find it.
Yeah, well, the sooner we find it, the less people turn into monsters that we have to kill. Yugiri, what's next on the docket? The devoted daughter.
You've arrived at a moment too soon. The blasphemy has been sighted on the coast. For a mercy, there are no reported casualties as of yet.
Well, sweet, let's get rolling. Take this thing out early.
Just the man I was hoping to see. No sooner had we cast wide our net than a Confederate messenger was at our door. If you would join us, Rasho awaits our arrival at Onokoro.
Rasho? That's not a name I've heard in a long time. I don't remember what voice either of these two characters had. I think you were on the kind of like the gruff sailor kind. Well now, that the noble Lord of Doma should come in person once again. Mayhap these blasphemies truly are a threat.
Indeed they are, and I was told you and yours sighted our quarry quite recently.
Oh, was it over there? By the Kojin Island? Aye, that we did. Near the islands of Show Rock. The beast appeared to be docile by all accounts, but appearances can be deceiving. If it is as you say, and this blasphemy has eyes only for former conscripts, then we have naught to fear. I trust those we accepted into our care are still in yours at the Kiankan, enjoying the finest dome and hospitality. Anyway, I know not why it came to the Ruby Sea, nor why it remains idle. But if we act quickly, there's a chance we could take it unawares.
I propose we divide our forces. If you're willing to go ashore, we'll take a ship and circle about the islands. The first to find it will have the honor of the kill. A simple enough plan. Shall we be off to Show Rock then?
Yes, we should. Really? No nod there? That would have been a good spot for it. Again with this overly long pullout shot.
I'm half wondering if these overlong pull-out shots might be my network acting up. Depends on how they're coded.
This is where the blasphemy was last sighted. If the fates are kind, this will all be over soon.
Yeah, but I got 2 more quests to do after this, so I can't get that lucky. I mean, we've already established the pattern 4 quests ago. That this thing shows up at the level 90 fight and nothing else.
There it is.
Alright. And there it goes.
Damn. Such speed. I doubt even my falcons could keep pace with it.
Ah, don't tell me that's the blasphemy flying off into the distance.
I had hoped the ill will of it bore me in life might compel the beast to stay and fight. Perhaps less of Minotto remains than I thought.
Wait, Minotto? That monstrosity was Minotto?
You knew her.
Her family tried to flee to Hingoshi during the occupation, but their ship was raided and sunk. Whenever we happened upon the wreckage, she was huddled between her parents and a piece of flotsam, desperate to keep warm, but they had long since grown cold. We took her to Onokoro, where we nursed her back to health. Couldn't imagine what horrors she must have witnessed. The mere sight of our weapons was enough to make her start screaming. She was clearly unfit for our trade, so we sought a village that might take her in. Isai was that village. Several months later, I chanced to meet her on this very beach. She was in the company of a young Ori fisherman, and I knew at once she had found more than a home there. I saw them here many times after that. She found something comforting about this place, I think. According to reports from Razat-Han, the memories and desires of those who turn can influence their behavior as blasphemies.
Then perhaps Minotto's memories are what compelled the beast to come here.
Well, that would also explain its timid nature. Minotto was never one for violence, and the sight of you, blade drawn, no doubt stirred what little of the woman remains in the monster.
Huh. If that's the case, an assault on the Kienkan is unlikely, guarded as it is by our samurai. But how are we to fight an enemy so quick to flee at the first sign of danger?
Oh, robbed of her parents, a husband, and now a life. I'd rather we didn't have to at all. But I understand full well the risk we take by doing nothing. If we catch sight of the blasphemy again, you'll be the first to know. Perhaps next time we can put our soul to rest.
That's the best we can hope for. Sad times.
There is naught to do now but bide our time. Come, let us return to the Enclave.
Yep. Clearly the wrong time of day for that last cutscene. Well, that trip was a big fat nothing burger. Sheesh. What a waste of a quest.
Given what we have learned, it seems likely that the blasphemy will return to Shore Rock. But that knowledge will avail us naught if we cannot prevent it from escaping again.
Oh.
Is this all the conscripts?
Oh no, it's the bitch. Even worse.
Lord Hien, on behalf of the people of Asari, we are come with a request.
We welcome you with open arms and open hearts. Well, except you, of course. What is it you would ask of me?
Those returned to us in the prisoner exchange have been granted shelter at the Kienkan. That they yet live is an affront to the Komi's grand design, and the spirits of our loved ones suffer for it. Balance must needs be restored, and so I beseech you to render them unto the goddess Izanami.
You're psychotic, woman.
Absolutely not.
Tis not our place to pray for the death of others, nor draw steel to sate mere bloodlust. When I take a life, be it by command of my own hand, I do so not in service of vengeance, but to uphold my duty to Doma and her people.
How did your mercy for Yotsuyu serve your duty? How were your people made better by the sight of her walking free?
Seriously, did nobody remember the whole amnesia bit? For her crimes and her cruelty, I cut her down the day we took Doma Castle. I sought to kill her, and by rights she should have died there and then. But the Kami willed otherwise, and returned her to us alive and bereft of her memories. With no recollection of her deeds, it would have been Tsuyu who faced punishment, not Yotsuyu. This was my judgment, and for it you were denied the justice you deserved. You have every right to resent me. But you come before me and ask that I sacrifice men and women whose only crime was to suffer, to be condemned to a life of servitude. If you truly believe your cause to be sacrosanct, believe yourself fit to bear the burden and swing the sword, then step forward. That's about what I thought.
The sophistry and lies. They were meant to die. The spirits demand it.
Are these the words of the dead, or the living who yet mourn? Oh. No way, Gosetsu! Oh, look who's back! Oh, I miss that big ugly mug. And I know you've got the big burly brash voice. Words of the Asari priestess and her gifts has spread far and wide, and I thought to see the truth of it myself. By coincidence, I crossed paths with a traveler hailing from the self-same village, who had a mind to return as well, but alas could not, and so he bid me deliver a missive in his stead. And that missive is a right hook straight to this bitch's face. Judging by the striking resemblance, I take it you are the young fisher Katsu. Let me guess, Daddy's still alive.
This is a letter from my father. He was severely wounded in battle, but expects to make a full recovery. He's alive, but that would mean she is John Edwards.
I'm sorry, I'm making bad jokes today. Surely a woman of your talents could divine a plausible explanation for this turn of events.
You shall pay for this costume, Lee. My daughter will make certain of that.
Oh dear. Well, regardless, damn Gosetsu, it's good to see you again. I forgot he shaved his head after the whole Yatsu thing. You big burly pain in my butt. How you been? Apologies for the abrupt and otherwise unannounced arrival. As you can see, my Lord Ian, I am returned.
Full glad am I for it. Thanks to your timely arrival, we have given the lie to Kisei's claims of preternatural powers. I gather you are apprised of recent events, then?
Aye, it did not take long to learn the state of affairs here in Doma, and that my assistance may be required. I had heard tales of Kisei channeling the dead, including the father of one young fisherman. Imagine my surprise when I saw this spirit in the flesh. He was also on pilgrimage paying respects to the departed, and we chanced to meet in a Liberation Front infirmary. Would that we had not brought back together under such circumstances, but I'm glad to see you all hale and hearty. You too, big lug. Oh. Man, I always like these sort of quests where I get to see old friends coming back. Even if I never remember what their voices were. Oh, it's the kid. Well, this should be interesting. Setting up the finale.
Tombo, is something the matter? I wish to apologize, Lord Ian. It was wrong of me to say the things I said. I understand nothing can bring back my father, but I was so angry
Aw, don't worry about it, little guy.
Please, Tombo, you needn't apologize. It's just, my brother was always so brave. But father's death was more than he could bear, and it turned him into that monster. If he wasn't brave enough, what choice do I have? We wanted to perform the rites for father, but the body was never returned to us, so... No, not that I blame you for that, Lord Ian. I understand nothing could be done.
Sad, sad.
And Akitsa's father survived is nothing short of a miracle, but the Fae is indeed the rare exception. I've offered prayers at more graves than I could count. It would be cruel to give the others false hope that their loved ones might return. And yet Kisei continues to do just that, offering comfort with her lies. A tempting but ephemeral balm for wounds that have yet to heal, much like the anger some harbor for you, or resentment for the families restored while theirs remain broken. But for those like that poor boy whose hearts lack for hatred, who know only sadness and despair.
Aye, they too may turn. Exposing the truth of Kisei's deception hasn't helped matters. If we are to prevent more suffering, we must pursue a lasting solution. I would be most grateful for your counsel, Gosetsu. There was much I could learn from your pilgrimage.
If there is aught you require, but say the word and it shall be done. It is the least I could do for the part I played in Yotsuyu's tragedy. I failed her in the end, but I will not fail you, my lord.
Thank you again for your aid, Dekumon. The day's events have given me much to consider. When our next step is decided, you will be the first to know. Well, that first step is one of two, because there's only 2 quests left. And dang, I forgot how hard Gosetsu's voice is on the throat. Alright, next quest, Yugiri, a singular gift.
Regrettably, there have been no sightings of the blasphemy since our first encounter at Shoal Rock. As Tansui surmised, it seems to fear confrontation. We, for our part, have tried to make good use of this intervening calm. Even now, Lord Hien and Gosetsu discuss how we might prevent other villagers from turning. If you would wait here a moment, he would no doubt wish to hear your thoughts on the matter.
Well, the best thing to do is find this thing and put it down. I don't know, maybe we should grab some airships.
Dekumon, so glad you could come. As Yugiri no doubt explained, the blasphemy continues to elude us, and so we have turned our attention to other matters we can and should address. After long discussions and much deliberation, we believe we have found a means to allay the growing malaise of our people. If you would, Gosetsu?
Alright.
The idea came to us after considering young Tonbo's remarks about his father, whose body was never found and returned to Doma. Others no doubt share in his melancholy, unable to bury and mourn their loved ones as is their right. Put simply, they cannot make peace with their loss. Their anguish, if left to linger, may consume them as well.
Big funeral?
That we might provide the people of Doma with comfort and closure, we will hold a national funeral at the Swallow's Compass. Those who choose to attend will be asked to present personal effects of the deceased they wish to be enshrined there. Spirits reside in all things, be they living or inanimate, and though we may die, a part of us lives on in the items we cherished most in life. Therefore, in lieu of remains, these belongings will be afforded a place in the royal mausoleum, that the spirits of those lost to us may find their way home to Doma, and at last know peace. The announcement has already been made, and a great many people are now engaged in the difficult task of deciding which keepsake will serve as their offering. It is not a decision to be made lightly, but I suspect they will have made up their minds by the time we go to collect their chosen tokens. I also hope to learn more about the departed from those willing to speak with me, for my benefit and for theirs. To break free of their sorrow, they must seek joy in the memories and the love they shared with the departed, and I will help them find it. Might the Liberator of Doma be willing to favor the people with his presence as well? I doubt not that they will appreciate the gesture.
Sure.
Good. Yukiri, I lift the people of Asari to you. Gosetsu, might I ask you to?
Apologies, my lord, but there is a small but most urgent matter I must first tend to.
Okay. Curious.
Very well. I shall not pry. Now, Dekumon, let us go and pay a visit to the good people of Namai.
Oh, I've been in a little sleeping village in a while.
Right then, before we begin, I would remind you that you need only listen to the tales of their loved ones. As overseer of the ceremony, I see it as my duty to deliver their effects personally. Because of this, it is of the utmost importance that we keep clear of any beast that might damage our cargo.
It goes without saying how important it is that the offerings are delivered in pristine condition, and I will be no good to you in a fight while heavily encumbered. If stealth or flight are not options, I must ask that you fight for us both. But we needn't worry unless the occasion arises. For now, let us be off. Well, I suspect that will be highly unlikely, but you never know around here. All right, I gotta find 3 villagers, and the first one is right here. I'm guessing all 3 of these are gonna be cutscenes.
My husband, my dear sweet Maroya, never returned from Garlemald, but perhaps now his soul might know peace. Please take this painting brush to the Swallow's Compass.
Gonna be a bit of a somber thing here.
I shall handle it with the utmost care. Might we trouble you to tell us more about your husband?
Well?
Maroya was a kind and gentle soul. There was nothing he loved more in the world than to create. That brush never left his side, not even when he tended the fields. Any spare moment was dedicated to his craft, and he produced the most wonderful vistas of youngship. It was his dream to take us to Kogone, where he would become a famous artist, until he was conscripted. In the early days, he would send drawings of the places they took him, though I know not how. But more time began to pass between each arrival, and then they stopped coming altogether.
Either they caught him or he never made it.
I know not in what far-flung land that he died, but I pray it was as beautiful as his works.
He sounds like quite a man, to hold fast to his art even when forced to endure such hardship. His soul will find peace, of that I have no doubt. And we're gonna get a lot of sob stories today. Number 2.
I must thank you again, Lord Hen, for this honor. My son would have been overjoyed to know that his katana would be enshrined at the Swallow's Compass.
So we've got a katana and a comb so far. Or no, a paintbrush.
Nay, the honor is mine. I'm sure your son was a fine warrior. Ah, and so was I once upon a time. A samurai, as it happens, in service to your father when the Empire first invaded our lands. Though we were defeated, our spirits broken, my son Matuse was never one to lose hope. He was determined to follow in my footsteps, gave us everything to hone in his skill with the blade. When I watched him train, I felt the pride I thought I'd forsaken swell in my breast, and I knew he would restore our family to its former glory. Alas. He could have fled, perhaps started life anew as a vagabond of some sort. But he bore the burden and fought for Garlemald, for fear what the Imperials might do to us if he didn't.
'Tis plain he was a loving son and a warrior true. I will care for his blade as if it were mine own, and see it given the honor and respect due a samurai of Doma. And of course Tonbo's the last one.
I realize it's quite large, but I wanted to offer this on behalf of my brother and our father, Suzuhiro. The jug of mead.
If you're willing, I would very much like to hear more about them both.
My father, he was a carpenter. He was a good man, if a bit stubborn. Always thinking about his work. The only time he ever seemed to enjoy himself was when he had a cup of sake in his hand. When my brother came of age, he took up the trade as well. It brought them closer. I'd see them languishing over drinks together, or listening in silence to the crickets singing under the moonlight.
I know, it said laughing.
I wanted to join them one day. This was their favorite sake. I thought they might miss it.
I'm sure it will taste all the sweeter having come from you.
Wait, I thought we were supposed to enshrine it.
Oh, I will enshrine it. I will enshrine it in my stomach. I realize that no one could ever replace your brother or father, but if you will allow, I would be honored to share drinks with you in their stead. When you are of age, of course. Yeah, good idea. He looks a little young to be going into the sake cups. Let me guess, I gotta carry this one.
This should be everything. Would you join me for a short reprieve before our journey back?
Yeah.
Wow, holy crap, this is heavy. How much is in here?
What in the heck are we doing out here in the middle of nowhere, Ian? Enjoying the view? I get it's a nice view, but man, it's raining out.
They put on brave faces, but the people of Namai are still racked with grief. It is the same at every village I have visited in recent days. But it is only now that I am struck by the contradictory nature of my goals. Having joined the Eastern Alliance and taken steps to revitalize the Enclave, I believed Doma was at last on a path to peace and prosperity. I still do. Yet by focusing so keenly on the future, I have neglected the past that yet haunts my people. Even if they do not give in to despair and become beasts that plague our lands like poor Tombo's brother, how are we to truly move forward if we are constantly looking back?
You speak of their haunted past, Lord Hien. But what of yours? Is there not someone for whom you yourself still grieve? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you've got some personal grief here to deal with, and hey, perfect, the rain stopped.
Me?
All things considered, I suppose it was only a matter of time before the subject was broached. He cuts to the heart of the matter, and the young lord. For the best, I should think, for he cannot lead by example if he is not yet made peace with his own past. I knew it was Gosetsu. 1,000 apologies, my lord. I was passing through, tending to the matters of which I spoke earlier, when I chanced to hear familiar voices in the distance. If I may be so bold, the people of Doma, one and all, understand the source of your pain. To lose your father and the turmoil of a failed rebellion is staggering duty to the throne thrust upon you. Aye, how could you even begin to mourn when first you had to lead? It would behoove you to take part in the funeral rites as well, my lord. Take this time to make peace with your past while it is still yours to spend. Though unlikely, if not impossible, were you to become a monster as well, Doma would surely be lost. Oof. Not a pleasant thought.
I thank you for your counsel, Gosetsu. But if I may ask, why is it you keep your blade at the ready? I thought this personal matter of yours to be naught but a trifle, or am I mistaken?
Well, I'm a samurai, man. I find the katana a superior tool for peeling persimmons. Speaking of which, I do believe my stomach begs for sustenance, if you'll excuse me. Sure.
Training, to help slay the blasphemy, no doubt. Fitting that he should offer me counsel yet refuse to heed it in kind. He is not the warrior he once was, but he is wise, our obstinate friend. If I am to be perfectly honest, it frightens me to recall it, the moment it all came crashing down. We've taken Castle Doma. Victory was ours, but then we looked out and saw the banners of the 12th Legion marching towards us, the Crown Prince at the fore. No sooner had Gosetsu and I escaped than we received word that Zenos had slain my father. I remember how the fight went out of Gosetsu in an instant, how he wept for his lord, while I felt the weight of the profound duty bear down upon my shoulders, crushing, suffocating, the heat of my own breath, the chill of my clammy palms. But duty demanded I master my emotions. When all those around me, Gosetsu included, were consumed by anger and a thirst for vengeance, I had to be in control. Under my orders, we dispersed and fled to fight another day. To this day, I have not stopped to reflect on my father's death. How could I, devoted as I am to finding Doma's way forward? Fair enough. But now I must. And so, having taken you into my confidence, would you see this through with me to Journey's End?
Naturally. Come on, you expect me to say no?
The keepsake I would offer up for the funeral is hidden in a place not easily reached. We would have to fly there, I'm afraid, but worry not. My yo will ferry us. Just a moment.
Alright, off we go. And suddenly we're here.
Just poof. The place we seek is Plum Spring, in the mountains. Shall we?
Oh, we shall. Mount the Yoles. Little auto fly. Yep. Ooh. This is a pretty little area. I guess they have to do it like this because there's no guarantee you have flying in any area whatsoever in the game except for Ozzy's Law, because those are all main story. So, what keepsake of your father's is hiding here?
My parents would bring me here for Hanami as a child. Its beauty and serenity was such that I could forget the realities of the occupation. Indeed, some of my fondest memories of family are here, which is precisely why I chose this place to conceal the singular gift my father bequeathed to me as a child. And what would that gift be? A little monkey king! He's adorable. Charming, is it not? The great auspice Kitan Dasheng, set to preside somewhere along the Daryu chain. He looks very familiar, like I kicked his ass once before. In those days, anyone and everyone knew the tales of his prowess. Reckless boy that I was, I once even tried to seek him out, hoping he might help us. Oh, I'm not gonna get a chance to comment. I buried it here shortly after my coming-of-age ceremony. It seemed a fitting place to both part with my childhood and offer a final goodbye to my mother. More a keepsake of mine than his, to be sure, but he was never a man of worldly possessions. Still, I suspect he would allow himself a rare smile if he were to see it again after all these years. Ah, the memories, in more ways than one. And that is precisely how I wish to bid him farewell, with a smile. And that's the way to do it. Alright, let's get out of here and head back to the Enclave. It should go without saying that I would prefer it not to become known that I kept this doll here. Wouldn't want the children to go jealous now, would we? Fair enough. And with that, I believe it is time we return to the Enclave. Thankfully, I can just teleport from here. Or the game could literally just drop me here, that works too. There are yet more villages to visit and offers to collect, but preparations are proceeding apace. Soon the people will have one less cause to be tempted down the path of despair. Of course, there still remains the problem of the blasphemy. The former conscripts will remain in the Kian Khan until it has been dealt with. We will slay the beast in due time, but before that, I would be honored if you were present for the funeral rites. Pray speak with Yugiri when next you visit the Enclave and she will tell you more of the proceedings. Something tells me the blasphemy might show up at said proceedings. After all, this is the final quest. Laid to rest.
As ever, your timing is impeccable. You but moments ago completed preparations for the funeral. I will inform Lord Hien of your arrival.
Alright, final quest.
You're here. Excellent. The blasphemy continues to shun our settlements, and I mean to make the most of the time its absence affords us. I assume you were planning to take part in the ceremony? Excellent. Glad to hear it. Unfortunately, Gosetsu will not be joining us today.
Why? Where's he at?
He's injured himself as I knew he would with his secret training, and now grumbles from the confines of his bed. But he will be fine in due course. We may worry over his convalescence after the funeral.
Dang fool. Suppose that means he's not going to be involved in the blasphemy fight then. Uh-oh. That light means we're about to be interrupted here.
The villagers should arrive ere long. Then we may begin.
Duty calls. It's a nice looking place, I'll give him that. Swallow's Compass. This was a dungeon. I definitely remember this being a dungeon. Oh! You.
Lord Hien,
Gonna own up?
I apologize, my lord, for my past transgressions. I yearned to believe my daughter was a Komi reborn, but you were right. She is a monster. Words can ill express my shame for advocating the conscripts be sacrificed to appease the dead.
She knows where it is.
Nay, this ceremony shall serve far, far better. And so, as a humble citizen of Doma, I offer my deepest gratitude and beg for your forgiveness. I would make an offering on behalf of my husband and son, as well as my dear stepdaughter Minato. I throw myself on your mercy, Lord Hien. Allow them a place within the mausoleum, that their spirits may know peace.
I'm hoping this is sincere. There is no need to beg forgiveness, Kisei. Please rise.
Oh no, it's not. Yo! I knew it. So I said hoping this was sincere. But Giri's a lot faster than an old woman. Damn it.
She will come for you.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, as if on cue.
By the Kami, she gave her life to draw out the blasphemy.
I mean, it works. And now she's cornered here in the compass. We can take her. Blasphemy. Izanami. Alright, fine. Take her here and now. Alright, Heian Yugiri. That's a pair we haven't gotten to play with in a while. Alright, lead us off. Go for all the big hits here. Boy, we just took a huge chunk out of her. Oh fuck. Head raise. Oh, that's gonna smart. Ow! It stung.
For you, Father.
Give everybody a lot of love here. Damn, that hurt. There's not a lot of safe spaces to stand. Alright, have a queen. Wasn't expecting to need head graze like that. Been a while since we really needed that ability.
Concentrate.
Forgot my drills. Resentful right sweep. Yeah, we're gonna be on the left. Alright, third of the way down.
It is nothing.
Slide around that.
The weave of a shinobi's power.
Go for the big gun. God dang, that's smart. Spread. Woo. We all getting a little low on health here. Oh, you dick. And yeah, of course, here comes Gosetsu, injured as he is. Damn fool. What the? That's new. Apologies for the untimely arrival, my lord. What the?
Gosetsu, what is that staff?
I'm a white mage now. Pilgrimage proved the most enlightening experience. That's where I chanced to discover the benefits of ascetic training. I may no longer be fit to wield a blade, my lord, but Shudigo affords me another way to turn the tide of battle. So he's our healer now! Well, sweet. As stubborn as ever. I shall have to thank you later. Let's just put an end to this. Ah, and there's the boss music I was expecting. Ah, oh, hey. It's 50% now. Alright, well, sweet beans. You gonna die now. So I burn all of these to get a buttload of free battery gauge. I'm protected Gosetsu. I don't know where the hell you guys all went. Oh. I see, because they had the little gauges over their heads. I didn't see that they had point blanks. There we go. This time I got the grazing shot off. Oh, here comes that Stygian storm again. Dude, I love how that barrier looks. It's so cool. Yeah, it doesn't last long, but it's still a good job.
The weave of a shinobi's power.
Oh, not this gag again. Oh, and a resentful right sweep for good measure. Ow. I just got clipped. Holy cow. I saw the queen going nuts there. That didn't sound like his normal voice actor. Oops, missed that one. Oh no. Almost there. One for the road. There we go. The last blasphemy finally dealt with. Hey. And one giant pain in my ass dealt with. Seriously, what the hell were you thinking, lady? Some people are just that blind, I guess. A deceiver to the bitter end. But she is still a daughter of Doma. She will have a proper burial, and her family's belongings enshrined with the others. We'll just put them somewhere where no one can see them. Aw, little monkey king. I have gathered you here today not to speak of the future, but to reflect on the past, to pay respects to loved ones fallen on the field of battle. In honor of their sacrifices, these sons and daughters of Doma shall be given a place here at the Swallow's Compass. Though they no longer walk with us in life, they walk with us in spirit. Pray never forget their bravery, that the memories of their legacy give you comfort and strength. Some prepared remarks here. Mayora Motokawa, the aspiring painter. He was a man who saw beauty in all things, and one day would have become a renowned artist in Kugane. Motsue Jito, the warrior in trading. He longed to become a samurai like his father and bring honor to his family. Suzushiro Kodakumi, the carpenter. A man who wholly dedicated to his craft, who hoped to one day pass to his talents to his 2 loving children. And so on, and so on, and so on, and my goodness, there are so many of these. And lastly, Minato Shigogaki and her stepmother Kisei. Theirs was once a happiness to be envied. Minato's parents were murdered by Imperial soldiers, and after being rescued by the Confederacy, Minato was given into the care of the village of Asari. Though she arrived with a broken heart, it was soon mended by the man who would become her husband, the son of Kisei, who herself had been born to Isari on winds of tragedy. Kisei was a child of the deep, born in Sui no Sato. For her gifts she was exiled, but with her courage and tenacity found a new home on the shores of the Ruby Sea. Wow, that is putting a serious positive spin on that. She was a devoted wife and mother, and though not related by blood, she loved Minato as if she were their own. That is how she lived, how they all lived, and how they should be remembered. Let your hearts swell not with sorrow, but with joy for their memory. Know that proof of their mark left on this world shall remain here, enshrined within the swallow's compass for all eternity. Let's still our voices, and in silence pray for their souls, that they may share in the peace we have found. I suppose even Kisei deserves a moment's silence. Still want to punch her. Well, that could have gone far worse than it actually did, right, Ian? Well, I certainly wasn't expecting battle with a blasphemy as a prelude to the ceremony. At least now we may breathe easy, if only for a short while. The villagers have all returned home, and I believe it is time we did the same. Back to the Enclave for the finish? Well, not the finish at this part. I gotta turn this all the way back in at Razat Han. Oh look, Gosetsu's here too. We've held a national funeral and slain a blasphemy besides. Rather productive day, would you not agree? The former conscripts will be elated to finally return home. I'm sure they will. Speaking of returns, I think I speak for us all when I say your appearance at the Swallow's Compass came as something of a shock. What of your injuries from training? Well, I am a healer. Quite painful for some time, I assure you. Despite my best efforts to reclaim my former skills, my back and my hips vigorously protested. I planned to sleep that I might be well rested for the morrow's hunt, but a voice called out to me. I was needed, and so I grabbed my cane and ran as quickly as my ailing body would allow. The cane suits you, Gosetsu, but your mastery of healing magics was a sight to behold. Almost as surprising as your resurrection following the fall of Doma Castle. I am still but a novice in dire need of training. It is my hope that I will be able to refine my aesthetic arts during my next pilgrimage. Well, might I suggest Gridania then? So, are you leaving? So you are leaving then? Worry not, Ludian. Should you find yourself in dire straits one more, I shall fly to your side. Not as a samurai, perhaps, but I will nonetheless give our enemies cause to tremble. And with that, I take my leave. Gosetsu is a healer. That is definitely the biggest twist in all of these quests so far. And this is the last of them. Hey, just goes to show anyone can class change. Though it may be years, if not decades, until we truly make peace with our past, we have turned a corner and begun to heal. We may look to the future unburdened by grief ignored and sadness denied. The path ahead is ever fraught with peril, but we shall walk it with eyes unclouded and with pride. You have done so much for us, for Doma. I wish there was more I could do for you. Just stay out of trouble? That would be nice. I can't get that lucky, but, you know, I can hope. If I may ask one last favor before you leave, please inform our representative in Radzen Han that the blasphemy has been vanquished and the people of Doma are safe. With any luck,
Our experiences here will prove useful to other nations that may yet grapple with these beasts.
Well, I don't think there are any left. I hope. Alright, time to wrap this sucker up. Master Dekumon, you are returned!
What word from Doma?
Oh, sorry. Wrong voice completely for this poor character. Did not get a good look at her.
The blasphemy is no more. That is most wonderful news. I must inform the other delegates at once. Thank you again for answering our summons. If another threat should rear its dastardly head, I pray we can count on your assistance again.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. But that is the end of the role quests. You can now dye the physical range DPS gear. Or is it? As you might have noticed, a new quest has suddenly appeared. But that, we'll have to wait for another time, because I am definitely out of time today. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like and favorite, and subscribe to join me for more Eorzean adventures. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.